This is the Nerdy Things Podcast. This podcast contains strong language, adult themes, and poorly developed ideas. We apologize for nothing. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 32 of the Nerdy Things Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Kevin. I am joined, as always, by Jules. Hey, Jules.
Heyo.
And by Tim. What's going on, Tim?
Not much, Kev. What's going on with you?
Not much. I just accidentally found a Facebook message and had to reply to that. I hate that I don't get any sort of notification because I'm not installing their goddamn app.
You got to get Messenger, man. That's what it is. They want you to get Messenger. There's Facebook stories now. Did you know that?
Don't care.
You got it.
Stories are cool. Facebook stories, Instagram stories, they're all cool. But really, you should just cave and get Messenger because it's a valuable tool in cooperation with your Facebook app if you are old and still use Facebook.
Blargity blarg. I just wish I could get an email when I got a message. Like, just email me, people, or don't. I don't care. I don't want to talk to anybody anyway.
What a waste of an email.
Just like, hey, go check this out. This guy asked you something.
You used to have the ability to have an email sent to you whenever something happened on Facebook. But then Facebook was like, well, we want people to come to us anyway. So they disabled that. Now you have to get their app, or you just have to organically go there throughout the day. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do either one of those.
Twitter still does that email thing, but it's like super lame because it even counts for like retweets or likes or anything. So you just end up getting a billion emails from Twitter, and it's like, why do I have this? It's not even just for well, I mean, you could change it just to messages, but whatever. But emails are the past. What are you talking about?
Just get notifications on your phone. And if it works like the iOS app, when you get a message, the Facebook app alerts you anyways, even without having Messenger.
Yeah, I don't have the Facebook app either. I like my battery life. Thank you very much.
Oh my God.
Go to sleep, Kevin.
Anyways, we figured out that Kevin is a special kind of nerd with his not, what is it? What do you run? Linux? Not Windows or not, Mac or whatever. Oh God.
He is a special kind of nerd. That's no question about
that.
If
you're a special kind of nerd like Kevin, email him, I guess, at nerdythingspod@gmail.com. Whatever.
I actually hope to record next week's episode using a Raspberry Pi.
Ooh, that'll be fun.
Rather than my actual computer. Like, I'm setting it up as we speak so that I can run everything I need off of the little silent computer so I have no background noise.
I thought you were talking about an actual pie.
Yeah, I prefer apple pie. I don't really like raspberry pie or blueberry pie or pumpkin pie. I like chocolate pie. But
I hate you both.
Okay.
Anyways, like Kevin was saying, next week we are going to be doing something special, and it's going to be pretty awesome. We're going to be in the same room for the very first time. Again, I'm sorry to break down the fourth wall. This time next week, we're going to be all together. We're going to be creating a ton of content for y'all on every platform pretty much, and we're just going to be, hanging out and doing all that good stuff. So if you want to help us out and help me out with, providing funds or anything like that, go to patreon.com/nerdythingspod, or just go to nerdythingspod.com. Nerdythingspod.com. You can go to the Patreon little slider right there, right next to the merch and all that good stuff. You can go donate at least $1 and you get a ton of exclusive content. So $1 a month. That's the minimum amount, but you can go ahead and do 2, 5, 10, as many as you want. It gets you different tiers and stuff like that, but at least $1 gets you a ton of exclusive content and really helps us out. Really helps us out because airplane tickets are a little expensive if you haven't traveled in the past 5 years. But yeah, go ahead and do all that good stuff. Help us out, and we're going to be creating a ton of Patreon content like the Hook. Oh God, I can't even say it with a straight face anymore. The Hook commentary is going to happen.
So exciting.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be awesome.
Week. It's going to be a
hopefully
shit show.
Really drunk. Yes, because
yeah, we will be
not.
A little wasty by that point. No question about it. So yeah, don't want to, just push the Patreon thing at you guys so hard. But it is a plane ticket we're talking about here. It's not like, hey, web hosting fees every month. We really appreciate your support. We bought a plane ticket to create content for you guys. So even if it's $1 a month, that's fantastic. If you'd like to make a one-time donation for a higher amount as well to cover, once again, a plane ticket, we would love it. It would really help us out, and we would be eternally grateful to you in your spirit. Thank you.
Yeah, go do that if you can. And of course, like, you're getting a bunch of stuff that we put out. We put out a bunch of rants, videos, pictures, exclusive to Patreon only, and it's a lot of fun. We get into discussion as well with William, because he likes to be very vocal on Patreon. So go to nerdythingspod.com. We have a space for the Patreon, a space for the merch. If you want to go check out our merch as well, do all that stuff, go follow us. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at NerdyThingsPod. You already know all that stuff. Go leave us an iTunes review because you haven't yet. Still mad at y'all, but it's okay. As long as you donate to Patreon, I'll be happy. I'm totally cool. That's all you got to do. But yeah, that's all the cool stuff. We're going to be putting out a bunch of stuff we haven't announced yet, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Next week's going to be pretty cool. You'll probably see it on Instagram stories because we figured out how to use that. So go check those out, all that out, and all that stuff. So let's get going into the episode because I feel like I talk a lot.
Get onto it.
Get onto it.
Let's get it on.
Deja vu.
I guess that means it's time for nerdy news.
Yeah.
Yay, nerdy news.
Nerdy news.
At 6 o'clock. All right. So, a couple of big trailers this week. We had, I guess first we had the trailer for Punisher that was from Netflix. That looked decent.
Why? Okay, we record these on Wednesday. Every time, like around the time we record the podcast, they release something ridiculous, and sometimes it's in the show, sometimes it's not. Today, we're recording a little bit later, and it's in the episode, but 9:30 today, they released the Punisher trailer right off the bat, and I'm like, what the hell? This is intense. So the Punisher trailer looks really cool. I mean, John Bernthal, whatever, with Metallica playing in the background with the gunshots going to the song One.
Yeah, it was very Baby Driver with that. Like the way everything lined up. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I dig that. I was like, okay, I feel that. Like, they're taking a pretty cool approach to it, and they gave enough of the story to where I'm like intrigued about it. Maybe if I knew more about Punisher, it would be more interesting. But I'm like, okay, this is decent. I dig it. He's sort of I don't know what his standing is with, you know, America and the CIA and all that stuff, but it seems pretty interesting from this one trailer, and I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, he's an asshole and he kills people. That's all you need to know.
So it is
Okay,
Shane.
cool.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely won't enjoy this then.
Oh God. You still don't like him
No,
as a
it'll
character?
be worth watching. It really will be. It'll redeem Shane in your eyes, I promise.
We'll see about that. But guys, Tomb Raider.
I know. You watched the Tomb Raider trailer, Tim? What'd you think?
I thought it was awesome. I mean, I didn't play the Tomb Raider games a ton. I think I maybe played like the first one because it was kind of a novel thing back then. So I'm not like a huge fan of the series, but I just hated the Angelina Jolie one so much that I look at the style of this and I'm like, oh, this could be a cool movie. They got a good actress who just looks like a good gritty action hero and not a padded CGI boobed buffoon walking around insulting women and the intelligence and desire of men all at the same time.
Oh God. So yeah, I mean, the Angelina Jolie movie, it had a really good soundtrack. I remember that, but really it was just all kind of boobs and lips everywhere. But that kind of, the Angelina Jolie one kind of took its reference from the old school PS1, I think. Yeah, PlayStation 1 Lara Croft game, Tomb Raider, and now this movie is kind of like the reboot that we saw when Square Enix, I think, took over the Lara Croft games in the past two games that came out pretty recently within the past 5 years. But those were super fun, and those were more of a less boobed Lara Croft, more gritty action sort of person, more of a realistic take on her in the video games, and then now seeing this movie sort of taking that same, you know, perspective on her it's going to be really good. I really dig it. And, you know, phenomenal actress. She was in that one movie.
The Danish Girl.
Yeah, that one. She's really pretty and she's really good actress. So, yeah, Tomb Raider. Going to be cool. I dig it.
Yeah, I think it says something, hopefully, about how far we've come as a society since the late 90s, early 2000s. But even back then, like, I get the video game character. The visual appeal was that she had this tiny waist and these big, like, cone-shaped boobs because that was how polygons worked back then. But it was it's insulting to women that was the way that they felt they had to portray it, even like with the assistance of CGI in the movie. But I think it's also insulting to men to think that, hey, the only reason I want to go see this movie is because it's a video game character with big breasts. It's not because it's kind of a cool female take on Indiana Jones, which I like anyways, and a good action movie. No, I'm only going to see it for the big boobs. Like, it was insulting to women and men all at the same time. Hated the whole concept, and I'm so glad that we're moving past that, thankfully.
And it was like...
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to see the second Tomb Raider movie because it had the guy that played Arnold Rimmer, Chris Barry, as her assistant. And I love him. So, poo on you. I don't care about any of the rest of that.
Oh, God. But yeah, it always seemed like her intelligence came second, but now you see her, solving like little riddles and stuff. Even in this first trailer, it just seems like she is way more intelligent. There's going to be a whole lot more focus on her, actually raiding tombs and figuring things out, figuring out puzzles. And that was, a lot of fun to see put onto a screen. So I'm pretty excited for it.
Right on.
Yeah, it should be pretty fun. I'm excited for the Jumanji 2, which we got another trailer for recently. Still looks spectacular.
You're calling it Jumanji 2? It's Return of the Jungle. Is it a 2?
Yeah,
Are they putting the 2 on it?
I don't care. It's the second Jumanji movie. What does it matter?
It's true. It's not a reboot, I don't think. I mean, because I think we know that Jumanji exists. It's just a video game version of the board game.
Well, no, in the trailer itself, they show the board game and they say it sat unused for 20 years.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
This is a direct sequel to the movie.
I'm happy about that.
So this is the second trailer to Jumanji 2. But by this point, I usually start to get a little sick of trailers and they start to spoil. I don't care. Like, there's nothing in this that you're really going to spoil. I love the world, and I think that this is going to be a nice interpretation of it, where it's not just weird crap being released into our world. It just looks like an action movie with a really neat premise.
Yeah, and then like the video game aspects added to that, it looks pretty fun.
Yeah, it was a clever way to update it, I thought, and I do like that all of these characters get to pick a trope, essentially, that is opposite to their either physical state or personality type, and that could be done really poorly, but the way it looks so far in the trailer, it looks like they're actually executing this pretty nicely, so hopefully that carries through the whole hour and a half, 2 hours, or whatever it is for the whole movie.
I don't know about the timing on the release of this trailer, because right now, Kevin, what's his name?
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart, he's under a lot of flack right now because of his, the whole thing about him cheating on his wife and all that. So I don't know if that's, the best moment to release a trailer with him in it, but.
I hadn't heard about that.
Yeah, that's a story I know nothing about.
That happened, I think about last week, and he posted something on Instagram. He posted an apology on Instagram a couple days ago. So a lot of eyes are on Kevin Hart right now for not good reasons. And then they released this Jumanji 2 trailer, and I'm like, oh, I don't know about that. So, yeah. So go check it out if you didn't know. He posted some stuff on Instagram. There's a bunch of stuff probably on Twitter about it, but.
It's a good thing they've got Captain Wholesome Tough Guy, The Rock, to overshadow whatever's going on with Kevin Hart. That's
for sure.
At least helps them out a bit.
Cheating is bad, guys.
Yes, don't do it.
Especially in video games, too.
Wow. Bringing it back. I like it.
Oh, yeah. This is a video games episode. If y'all didn't see the title, we're going to be talking about video games later. Nice. So this is a video game themed.
No, you guys were ragging on me for not using Facebook properly, but apparently I'm going to have to get on Twitter soon, because coming up shortly, actually, the first episode of Ghosted for Fox is going to be showing on Twitter only ahead of the premiere.
Wow.
So apparently from the 21st to the 24th, you're going to be able to watch the season series premiere of Ghosted.
And, I mean, that looks like a really good show, first off. I'm pretty interested to see what comes of that. But let's get a Twitter streaming service too. Why not? Let's just get a Twitter streaming service to go along with the YouTube Red, and then let's just do it. Instagram, jump on the streaming services too. Why not? Just do all that stuff.
Facebook streaming.
Yeah, I think they already announced something about that.
I don't know where they want to go with this, but they've been streaming football games, NFL games for the last couple of years, and it's been free. So it's actually been kind of awesome for cord cutters who have an issue with seeing live sports. So there's been some opportunity for people to watch football games on Twitter. So I don't know what their agenda is. I don't know what the content creators gain from it. I'm sure that Twitter pays them some money for it. I don't get the behind the scenes stuff on this. I haven't done enough research to really understand where this is leading or what the potential for this is.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what I was, kind of hinting at. I'm pretty sure that seems like the only route to go with all this stuff, because they do that, like you said, with football games. They do that with big events, and you can watch it Twitter live, and it's in really good quality, and it's like, oh, this is really cool. And I'm pretty sure eventually you're going to have to pay for like a Twitter Prime or something to watch these things like you used to. And I don't know if ad revenue is really, doing it for them anymore. And I think they need more money for the amount of people that are on it. So
yeah. I wish you were wrong, but you're not. There's definitely going to be something. I mean, they're teaming up with Bloomberg to do a streaming service, 24/7 news, which is fine, but you're right. Like, how are they going to monetize this? Because they have to.
You heard it here first.
And if we're wrong, podcast. You didn't hear it at all.
Yeah, forget about it. If it never happens, just forget you heard this.
Well, you know what happens when you don't monetize things right?
You go bankrupt.
Like Toys R Us did. Apparently, they're filing for bankruptcy protection ahead of the busiest time of the year for toys.
It looks like they're set, though. It looks like I didn't do a ton of research on this, but I was casually watching the news in the break room the other day, and I think that they are protected at this point, and they will not be having to close stores at this point. I think the U.S. wants to keep them in business because they have 1,600 stores and 65,000 people employed, I think is the number that I remember. So it's in everybody's best interest that they stay afloat. It's going to be interesting to see how they have to reorganize to make that work, though. I think their stores are too big. So I don't know what they're going to have to do, but their stores are too big for the profit margin that they're able to sell at thanks to Amazon and other online services now. So they need to change some things, but it's definitely in the best interest of the country to have them stay in business, have us be able to still go in and look at toys and have that hands-on experience, and also not to leave 65,000 people unemployed.
No, and that's a wonderful point. Like, it really is in everybody's best interest, but they do have to figure out what they need to do to continue to be a business. The world is changing. You need to change with it.
Yeah, I mean, they even implemented like a video game section for a while in Toys R Us.
Oh, they were the place to get video games back in the day, Jules.
Really?
This might have been before your time, but oh yeah. Like, they had interactive Nintendo stations, Sega stations. You could go in there, try out the games. I mean, not all of them, but they'd pack some displays with pre-programmed games and stuff. Yeah, that was when we were kids. Like, that was one of the key places to go and check out games was Toys R Us. So,
but even then, they were more expensive than some of the game stores. I wouldn't have bought there unless it was only something they had.
But parents went there. See, that's the thing. I think as parents the culture has changed. Newer parents know how to shop online. They know how to look for deals. They grew up with video games. They understand the concept. But when Kevin and I were kids, it was like, oh, Mom, Dad, I want the new Nintendo games, and our parents would just go to Toys R Us because like, oh, I know I can find it there, and they'll be in supply, and they didn't know differences in prices. They probably didn't shop around. You certainly couldn't Google it, so it was a different game, and that's really what's changed their business. And like I said, I think their stores are just too big, so they may have to close some stores and scale down, like get some facilities that are a smaller square footage, that they can be leaner, but it might also behoove them, like they closed the Babies R Us stores and incorporated that into their shopping experience. So maybe it's going to take another retailer coming in and buying them that's in a similar space that they could maybe combine efforts, and it's going to be a Toys R Us / something else. Or there'll be a section inside Toys
they should
R Us
do
that's
it. They should do it like whenever they combine food places, like, yeah, just
like
throw
a Taco Bell KFC, right?
Throw a Pizza Hut in there.
Right.
No, but I mean, see, I'm genuinely like serious that's probably what needs to happen. unless they just want to get out of all of their leases or sell if they own some of their real estate. I think they're going to have to combine another value prop into their building locations to increase traffic and why people will go there and sales per square footage. It's a challenge for them, but they need to stay in business.
Right.
It's an important thing, I think.
Hey, honey, I'm going to head down to the Toys R Us Starbucks. Do you want anything?
Yeah.
Hey,
some
Target
Legos,
does it, man.
a
There's Starbucks
macchiato.
and Targets everywhere. You don't
I
think
know.
that's a coincidence? There's Pizza Huts. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff in Target. So
Kids love
yeah,
pizza.
they need to do something
Kids
like
love
that.
toys.
No, you're
Just
not
make
wrong
it
at
like
all.
a smaller Chuck E. Cheese. Let's host some parties at Toys R Us / Pizza Hut. Let's do it.
Yeah, but the thing is, like,
No.
there's no reason for me to go to Toys R Us. I can go, you brought it up. Yeah, I can go to Target and get all of the same stuff, plus all of the other stuff that I need. If Toys R Us had something that you can't get elsewhere, that would be a reason to go there. But they may have a
Do you think
slightly
they should
wider
start making
selection,
like
but that's about
exclusive
it.
deals then? Like spend the rest of whatever money they had on certain exclusive deals, so where it's like, oh, you can only get this Madden game at Toys R Us, whatever, or you can only get exclusive, I don't know what's out for the kids these days, but like, you can only get some of that. Should they spend their money doing that and making exclusive deals for that? Do you think that would help?
No, because I also think that's bullshit. But
Okay.
but something.
Yeah, I think the thing that makes it, like, I mean, listen to
Right.
three guys without a business degree try and fix Toys
Right.
R Us. But,
Here we go.
I mean, some of us work in retail and have our whole lives. I do think that they need to combine forces. I think that's what it's going to take. And I think it's going to be, getting a Starbucks in there like a Target does, that kind of thing would be helpful. But almost if they merged with Bed
That'd
Bath
be
and
interesting.
Beyond, I don't know. I'm like, just pick another retailer that could occupy a similar space and they could have these, combined stores. Or even if GameStop, if one or the other absorbed and you had GameStops inside Toys R Us's.
That might be a win-win
So-
for both of
No,
them.
and
that
that's
kind
exactly
of
what
thing.
we need.
Yeah, so I mean, who knows? But something needs to happen because I don't want to see Toys R Us go out of business because, hey, I'm a
Wow.
Toys R Us kid.
No, and I mean, this argument, this conversation sort of dovetails with, like, this week we're going to get the premiere of Star Trek Discovery, which I have said from the start, I don't think we need another Star Trek like that. But if you take that and you combine it with something like, I don't know, Family Guy, you get the Orville. And I'm on board. Second episode was this Sunday. Apparently, after delayed viewing and everything, Orville is Fox's biggest
Holy
premiere
shit.
since Empire,
Mhm.
and almost one of its biggest premieres ever. That's really cool. Like, that's
You
fucking
got one
awesome,
finally.
Fox. Go you.
Yeah, I was really surprised that this was the draw, like the Orville. I mean, I think it goes to show that we've talked about for a long time. Nerd culture, geek culture has really come into the mainstream. And this is kind of proof of that. But I am really surprised that this was as big a draw as it was, even though it was a great TV show. I really enjoyed the pilot. It was really funny and entertaining.
Yeah. Well, it plays on those tropes. I mean, I was talking to Tim a little earlier. He hasn't seen the second episode and hasn't watched Rick and Morty, but this episode of Rick and Morty and this episode of The Orville, both from this Sunday, they actually had some story elements in common because it's just one of those really tropey, hokey science fiction things that they're both making fun of. And I thought that was great that they both came out on the same day,
That's pretty
independent
funny.
of each other.
Yeah, but I mean, that kind of says stuff about how we watch things as well, because again, like, we're not all watching it that night. We're not, I mean, most of the people are. I'm pretty sure that's where they got some of their biggest numbers, was that night for watching the show, but we do watch it later on, and that's that's something that people, like we were talking about, things change, people change, the way we consume content changes, and for this to come out way after the fact that it's the biggest premiere, it's like, okay, maybe we should rethink how we, or for people that, create the content on TV and stuff, maybe we should rethink how we count our numbers or how we decide if a show's good or bombed or not, So,
well, I think we are seeing some of that because I think we are seeing a shift in Netflix shows towards shows that are better when binged watched rather than the cliffhangery every episode shows that we're used to from network television, where they need you to come back every week or they're not going to make their ad revenue. Because they're realizing that Netflix is realizing that people are watching these shows back to back to back. So it's a little bit more of a slow burn
for sure,
with cool things in each episode rather than just every 7 minutes before a commercial break, you get
so stupid.
This cliffhanger ending.
You mean the CW effect?
Yeah, no, exactly. Yes. Yeah, that's
but
exactly
those do
right.
well in their own right, too. It all depends on who you're looking to appeal to, I think. I think adults get that kind of like well-paced, well-crafted drama, comedy, whatever it is you're watching. But those young people, man, they want that stuff. Boom, 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 right at me. So
and they can still watch the CW. That's fine.
And that's why it's important to have every
But
space
still,
do its
I have a
own
problem,
thing, you know?
Netflix. Why
Sure.
you gotta tell me? Why you gotta ask me if I'm still watching? Yes, I've been watching The Office for 5 episodes. I'm still awake. I don't know what you're talking about. Just play the next one. Just play the next one.
Dude, my wife just had made this same comment just last night, Jules, because we have TV run all night long because I just always grew up listening to music or like comedy on tape, cassette, believe it or not. When I was a kid, it was just something to help me fall asleep. And my wife always watched TV, so we just always have TV running all night. And it's Netflix. And like when it stops, it kind of wakes us up, you know, and you got to click the damn button again. And she's like, why can't it just be programmed to not ask me if I'm still watching? I'm always watching.
If you're on, I'm watching.
Yeah, I have the same complaint. I have a similar complaint with Hulu, where every time I try to go onto Hulu, it's like, which profile? Kevin or create new profile.
Just go to it.
You only have one goddamn profile. It's me. Just go to that and then every time it's like, oh, we're having trouble with your lineup. Try reloading. Well, you know what? Then try reloading because you do this to me every time. I have to log in. I have to hit yes, it's me, and then I have to reload it. I just want it to work.
Problems.
Technology.
Nerdy boys.
Figure it out.
First world problems.
Exactly.
They are totally first world problems, but I can tell you, there are very few things that make me lose patience, like technology not working. I really don't know what it is specifically about technology, because like mechanical things can mess up. Maybe it's because I know technology better, but like mechanical things can mess up. A sink can stop running, like issues with a car. I'm always like, oh, well, that stuff happens. But if my DVD player won't read the Blu-ray disc that I just put in there, like I'm burning on the inside and I can sense it. Like I'm getting testy. My wife's offering suggestions. I'm like, no, there's no reason for this to be happening. There's no suggestions. It's just not working. And that's unacceptable to me.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's as frustrating to me as like, the decisions that DC makes for their movies. Oh, yeah. Like that upsets me almost as much. Like, you know, we all know that Green Lantern's going to be in the upcoming Justice League. Just fucking tell us this. This is like the whole Superman is back, no he isn't thing. We still really haven't seen Superman in any of the advertising for Justice League.
Because he's dead, Kevin.
And we're being told that 5 of the 7 members of the Justice League are going to be in this movie. Except it's also going to have Superman, don't tell anybody. And now there's rumors that there's not 1, but 2 Green Lanterns coming in this movie.
Why 2?
Yeah.
Like, how is there 2? How does this work?
So with Green Lanterns, for a little bit of a history.
Green Lanterns, period.
There's
plural.
Plenty of them.
Sorry, not period, plural.
So there's this race of aliens from a planet Oa who give rings of power that are recharged by a small device that looks like a lantern. And that ring gives the bearer the power to use his mind and imagination to create physical objects out of a beam of light that comes from the ring. They are each given a sector of space to protect, and there are thousands of them, big and small, all throughout the universe. There's one that's literally a planet. There's Hal Jordan, who is on Earth, and there's John Stewart, who is one of the other ones from Earth, and there's been like 12 of them on Earth. Kyle something, I forget his name right now. But there've been plenty of them that have protected Earth, and when one of them dies or gives up, the ring goes to someone else. Well, no one has been cast as Green Lantern, so the rumors are that it's probably going to be 2 alien Green Lanterns in this somehow, or it's going to be an alien, and then in one of the like post-credit scenes, we'll get someone who was cast as Green Lantern, even if it's just we see him from the back. And then in the following movies, we get more, and it's surprise. We find out it's Armie Hammer. I don't know. We'll bring in someone for it.
Apparently,
I don't care.
Yeah, apparently it's supposed to be.
I don't care. I don't care enough for this to be a secret.
I thought Ryan Reynolds was
sorry
the
to burst
only
your
Green
bubble.
Lantern.
Oh man,
ever. Man,
No.
that's so
He can't
disappointing.
be both. But yeah, what I read in the article was saying that it's supposed to be two Green Lanterns that you're not gonna expect, and it's like I really don't care either way. Like, just I mean, come on, like whatever. I'm just gonna see the movie.
When does this movie come out? When is it coming out?
When does this come out? November or something, I believe it was.
Is it that far away? Because I just want it to be here.
Seriously.
I just want to be done and over with it. It might be good. I hope it is.
Yeah.
But I just want to be done and over with it. I want to have seen it. I want to put the speculation to rest. I just want to know what it is. Just let me see it. I've been hearing about it for 800 years.
I agree 100%. It's November 17th. We're going to put this to rest.
To
We're
watch
going to
it,
have
yeah.
to fly Jules up here again.
When does Ragnarok come out?
That I don't know either, but I want to say
We
it's
did a whole episode on it.
October 20 something.
They're like really close together. I didn't realize how close together they were.
Yeah. November 3rd.
That's
So yeah.
too close
2 weeks.
together.
No, it's fine. No, maybe, you know what? Maybe one of Thor's post-credit scenes will be for Justice League, and we're going to get a crossover between them.
No.
We're going to find out there's two Thors in the
Oh,
Justice
yes.
League movie. Bump, bump, bump. It's going to be the two rumored post-credit scenes for Justice League. Because apparently they're just going to
Let's
emulate
do
Marvel
two.
even more now.
Hey, Marvel, we'd like to steal all of your stuff, but not do it anywhere near as well. Is that okay?
You got it.
Yeah, perfect. No problem. Go ahead.
Oh, man. Just let me see it. I just want to see it. Let it be done with.
Yep. That'll be it. We're going to have to stop doing the podcast after that because we'll have nothing to complain about.
No, there'll be more.
And
DC
what's his name?
movies,
Still Spider-Man,
Don't worry
so-
about that, Kevin.
Oh,
There'll be
that's-
plenty
that's
more to
true.
complain about.
Wow. It's bitter still about the Tobey Maguire thing,
I
huh,
mean,
Jules?
a little bit, but I mean, Tim didn't like him. He said he had a vendetta against him.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't forget that
Yeah.
I hated him more than Jules did.
There
The
you go.
petulant little brat.
Wow. Now, man, were you guys were the ones that
McG.
hated McG too, right?
Yeah, I'm not
The
a
director
big
McG.
McG fan because he's never done anything good.
Well, get ready to take those words back because he's apparently attached to the True Lies TV reboot from
God.
James
Coming to
Cameron.
Fox.
And we need this. Why?
We need this, like we need a hole in the head. Wait, no, I don't need a hole in the head. We need this because of reasons.
Yep.
Because
I don't really know.
it grows a lot of money.
But I'm in.
I don't even want to talk about it. This is like the least interesting news story we've ever brought up, in my opinion.
No, it's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it. You know what? I want to see how they update it. Like, I want them to take this idea and just be like, all right, what we did before was shit. But the kernel, the nugget of this is great. Because it is. Like, this could be a really cool story. If you took some good actors, you had some really good writers, and you made this a story, fuck, I'm in.
But it's
Yeah,
McG, so it
100%.
won't be.
No. Tap the brakes there because McG, this is his time to shine. You're going to love this. I'm calling it now. McG is better than you think, not as bad as you fear. He's not as great as I think he is, but somewhere in the middle is some greatness.
He's been making movies for 15 years, but yeah, now he's figured it out.
I don't know. You know what? I'm glad that it doesn't seem like Schwarzenegger is attached to this in any way because we don't need more Schwarzenegger, despite the fact that we're getting apparently a sequel to the movie Twins.
Oh, yeah.
Called
That's what y'all have
Triplets.
been waiting for.
I mean, I just need a couple of more signatures on my petition for the prequel movie Only Child, but I'm getting no traction on that. But yeah, I mean, whatever. True Lies is great. It had Jamie Lee Curtis in it. It had Ronald Schwarzenegger. So it wasn't a terrible movie. It's not, it may not be the best property, but they're scraping the bottom of the barrel. And I think with the right writers, you could do something awesome with this.
They're trying to make some money. This one made some money, so.
They are. They're certainly trying. I mean, speaking of Jamie Lee Curtis, apparently she's going to be in the next Halloween movie?
Question mark.
Even though
yeah.
her character is dead?
I don't know. How old is she even? Because, like, she posted a picture about it on Twitter, I think, with the whole, the whole spoiler thing, whatever. And it's like, oh my God. But she looks pretty good for, I don't know how long or how old she is, but.
She's 58. I mean, she looks really good for 58.
Still, yeah.
And she's full of ass kickery. So
we'll see, I guess. I don't know if anybody asked for it, but it's cool. I don't know.
They've been remaking these movies for, 30 years now. They may as well bring Jamie Lee Curtis back again because she's the queen.
Yeah, no, she really kind of is. And that's fine. I'm fine with it. I'm good. I'm going to be dragged to see Halloween by Jenny, and that's fine with me.
I'll join you, Kev.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Marvel is apparently back on board with making a Power Pack movie. So they're going to be making this movie and slotting it into phase 4 of their Marvel Cinematic Universe.
It's something that you plug into the wall, you charge it up, and then you can connect USB devices to it to charge your other portable devices without having to be tethered to a wall.
Right, so these 4 kids find one of those that crashed in their backyard, and it gives them superpowers in order to protect their planet because their dad was going to blow the planet up by accident, and then they save their dad from being kidnapped. And it's actually kind of a cool series. It's about these 4 kids who get basically this alien splits his power over the 4 kids, and the 4 kids every once in a while can like swap their powers around, and like they can control, one of them can go really fast and one of them can do this and that. Like it's kind of neat though that the way that the powers interact can change, and each of the powers can react differently. Like they get mass manipulation, gravity manipulation, flight, and energy, and they can work together to do different things. Or if they swap powers, sometimes one of the kids will have multiple powers and the other kids will have none. And they don't have any control over when they swap. It just kind of happens when they're stressed out. So it's kind of neat to see this. It's like 4 kids of different ages trying to get their shit together, but having hormones and fights and all of this stuff just kind of screw them up with it.
Interesting. So that's a whole lot. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, kids superheroes, that's weird. I grew up with Powerpuff Girls, and that's all I need. Just 3 girls with nothing else, no other family members. But there's really, only 3 of them.
Did y'all ever watch Powerpuff Girls? Was that like a big thing? Because I really like Powerpuff Girls and Dexter's Lab and all that.
No.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I loved Powerpuff Girls and Dexter's Lab. They were spectacular.
And now they fucking announce they have another sister out of nowhere. What's, yeah.
McGarrett, out of nowhere.
Her name's Bliss, and it's short for Bliss Tina, and she is...
Are we going to run an adoption storyline here?
I don't know.
No. Apparently, she was created before the Powerpuff Girls because the Powerpuff Girls were created with Sugar Spice and Everything Nice and Chemical X. And apparently the professor accidentally did the same thing a couple of years earlier with Sugar Spice, Everything Nice, and Chemical W.
This is their older sister, yeah.
Oh. And then every time she'd get angry, she would just blow things up, and she apparently blew up the house and then ran away.
Yeah, so
and now
she used to be friends with Mojo Jojo when Mojo Jojo was the professor's assistant, and
Mojo Jojo.
It's a whole story thing, but that really, I don't know, that makes me question the professor, because he seems pretty shady now that he never really mentioned this other iteration of, or the times that he's failed. He's never really mentioned all that stuff.
Oh, come on.
Yeah,
the guy's an idiot. He's always been an idiot. He accidentally created 3 little girls. How do you do that and still be a good guy? I don't know.
I'm laughing so hard over here.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's happening. It's
We're having a serious Powderpuff Girls, Powerpuff, whatever
because,
it's called.
Okay, he's a professor.
Right?
He mixes
fine.
some shit, whatever Chemical X or Chemical Y is. We don't know the properties of that. But Sugar Spice and Everything Nice produces a human being or close to a human being. That's ridiculous. And this guy's just doing whatever.
There's too much glucose in Chemical W.
You're right, Jules. Yeah. That's the most unbelievable part.
I'm calling shenanigans on that. Whatever.
Yeah,
but they got a new sister, and apparently she's gonna help fight crime and all that stuff. She's voiced by insert name here. I forgot her name, but she's pretty famous, I think, and she's a musician.
You know what, guys? Family's important. That's one thing we learned from the Powerpuff Girls. Family is important. You know what else taught us that?
Tim?
The Fast and the Furious.
Yeah, except wait. Isn't there some fighting going on there too?
Well, all families have squabbles, no question about it. But yeah, so we've talked a bunch about how The Rock wants to do a spinoff. And then apparently before the last movie, he said, I'm going to shut that down because Vin Diesel was like,
that's not family, does it?
Family, And And yeah, so he's like, no, that's cool, guys. That's fine. I'll shut that off. And then all of a sudden talk started back up again. But apparently he ain't getting back to Tyrese. Like, those text messages are not being answered because Tyrese had to go to his Instagram to be like, yo, dog, that's not how we do things.
Tyrese, who even are you, dude? You're not the guy anymore. It's okay. Just let him have the series. It's okay. Come on.
But here's the thing. He's not the guy, okay? Was Tyrese ever the guy? I mean,
no.
He was kind of cool for a while, but here's the thing about the Fast and the Furious. He does have the core message right. And I think because he's been involved almost since the beginning, the Rock did get involved a little bit later. When they lost Paul Walker, I mean, that was I'm sure the Rock feels really horrible about that, but there was a brotherhood with those guys. You know what I mean? And the actual loss of a real human being just really impacted them. And I do think that at the core, the whole thing of that movie was about family, that, you know, what family is. And it's not just blood. It's the people who you surround yourself with and support unconditionally. And I do think doing a spinoff movie does go against the core message of the franchise. And I'm kind of on Team Tyrese on this one.
Okay. Yeah, I can kind of see that, I guess.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love The Rock. I'm a huge fan of The Rock, and do I think the movie, like if it were him and Jason Statham or something, do I think it would be awesome? Absolutely. And The Rock is out for ultimate success. He has proven that, and he doesn't want to let anything get in his path, but he's part of a team when it's the Fast and the Furious, and it's not his team, okay? It is Vin Diesel's team, and I really think that you gotta defer to the guys who have been around doing that, and girls who have been around doing that since the beginning, because that's their deal, man. And I don't think he has the right to just go rogue on it. I really don't.
No, I got to agree with you 100%.
I'm pretty sure The Rock has enough money to just say, fuck that. Here it is. Yeah.
Oh, it's happening.
Okay.
Yo, yeah, sure. Don't get me wrong. He's not going to listen to this. It's happening. But what I'm worried about is that it's going to ruin. I mean, I want them to keep making Fast movies. I like them. And they keep being good. But I'm worried that this is going to blow that up. Like, I'm worried The Rock is going to Yoko Ono this thing.
Yeah.
It's going to break up the band.
I'm not so worried that it's really going to break up the band, but I can see it. We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to, rock out with Jason Statham and see if that does anything, and then get back to Fast 9.
It would be interesting to see what the fans think of this, because it's always fun when fans make their voices heard, kind of like they're doing with the Star Wars movies right now.
What's going on there?
Yes. Yeah, now that...
This just makes me hate people. But Kevin, tell the story.
Exactly. Well, then, no, there's a petition going around to remove J.J. Abrams from Star Wars 9 because people hate everything. You know what? I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I don't care enough who is directing it. I just want it to be good. I'm willing to give him a chance. Like, I think anyone can be good, even by accident. And I don't think J.J. Abrams needs that much to be good. I think he just needs to make this movie. And this is something that has so much oversight. There's not much he's going to be able to do that would not be fine. Let it happen, folks. Don't start a petition to have him removed.
Their kind of argument is the one that he did direct wasn't good, and they didn't like that one. So, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean...
You saw it, right?
It was good.
What did you think, honestly?
It's good. I mean, it's fine. Okay, I just want to see the story. Just give me more story. Like you said, just come on.
No, this is the thing, is I thought that was a really almost perfect way to bring this story back up, because it touched on a lot of the same notes that fans of the franchise are already familiar with. It introduced a lot of really strong characters that you can then ride the story on their backs. It brought back all of the major characters from the original. How is this bad? Like, this is fan service. This is exactly what people were asking for. He gave it to us. Enjoy it.
It was the best Star Wars movie in 30 years.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure I have a different take on it, because I wasn't there for the premieres, like y'all said y'all were, or y'all watched them in the original setting or whatever. But still, just being outside of all that stuff, it still was a really good movie. And it's like, oh, I see. this part they took from here, and this is like really interesting, and all these new characters. It's like, okay, I can see where they can build from here. And I haven't read much on what their argument as to why it wasn't good or not. Maybe it was too much, like, I don't know. I haven't read into it, but.
Well, they said it was too much like the original Star Wars, and that they think that they're just going to repeat the trilogy. But here's the thing, whether he directs it or not, J.J. Abrams is overseeing this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
He's been given the keys to the kingdom. So the story is going to be the story regardless, I think, of who directs it. And bottom line is, he directed a really good movie in the first comeback here to Star Wars. And maybe they will take more risks in this next one and the third one. We don't know where they're going with the story. But even if they rehash it, it was still a good movie. And I'd rather have the guy at the helm who I know has already made a really good movie.
True.
That's what I want.
Yeah. No, exactly. I'd rather get something that's good to slightly better than good than something that's been touched by George Lucas.
Right? Yeah, I just got so angry when I read this because it's like, dude, you just got to complain about something. Like, you don't even know what the story is yet, and you're just worried that it's going to be something that you have no idea. And they made a good movie. They delivered a good movie that all the fans enjoyed. That made $1 bazillion.
Yeah, that just goes to show.
Let it go, man.
That just goes to show, like, some people will never, like, you can't please everybody, no matter how close it is to being quote unquote perfect. There's always going to be a couple thousand people that are going to petition against
well, that's
however
something that
good
made me
it
laugh
was.
too, is because this has become a big news story.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the petition's been out for at least a month, but I want to say a couple of months, and it has over 3,000 signatures. How many diehard Star Wars fans are out there? Way more than 3,000.
Yeah.
Let's put it this way.
Hell yeah.
This is a
Global,
minuscule percentage
Mhm.
of the total Star Wars, and I'm not even talking casual fandom, the total Star Wars hardcore fandom. This is a minuscule percentage. So I really don't think this is as big a deal as the stories are making it out to be.
Sure.
Because it's such a small number of people who have put their name on this petition. But that just makes me so much angrier that they've been given a voice. This is ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, it's almost as ridiculous as the Stranger Things pop-up bar being asked to shut down.
You think that's ridiculous?
No, not at all,
No,
actually.
good, okay.
I think as someone who creates content, I understand the need to control how that content is
Yeah.
displayed.
Yeah. But the best
No,
thing
but-
is how they did it.
Yeah, I loved that.
So let's give a little backstory.
yeah.
Basically what happened was there was a pop-up bar. They had a 2 or 3 month agreement, I think, to lease the space. And it's a Stranger Things themed bar, which is a really cool idea.
Hell yeah.
And Netflix looked at that and goes, we didn't license this. They're making money off us, and we're not really in control of how it's being delivered. We'd prefer this not to happen. Now, if this were Disney or somebody else, they'd probably just go cease and desist,
Sure.
shut down immediately. And they'd ruin these poor guys' investment and all. I mean, they had a clever idea, a little misguided, but they had a clever idea. So instead, what Netflix did was send a letter, and I'd actually really like to read it because I
Sure.
think the way that they did it was awesome.
It's great.
So it says, my walkie-talkie is busted, so I had to write this note instead. I heard you launched a Stranger Things pop-up bar at your Logan Square location. Look, I don't want you to think I'm a total wasteoid, and I love how much you guys love the show. Just wait until season 2, parentheses. But unless I'm living in the Upside Down, I don't think we did a deal with you for this pop-up. You're obviously creative types, so I'm sure you can appreciate that it's important for us to have a say in how our fans encounter the worlds we build. We're not going to go full Dr. Brenner on you, but we ask that you please, 1, not extend the pop-up beyond its 6-week run ending in September, and 2, reach out to us for permission if you plan to do something like this again. Let me know as soon as possible that you can agree to these requests. We love our fans more than anything, but you should know that the demagogue is not always forgiving, so please don't make us call your mom.
Demogorgon.
Sorry,
Demogorgon.
Demogorgon. That's awesome.
It's pretty great.
What a great way to go about it. Hey, we're going to let you keep doing this. Make your money. We appreciate your love. Just don't do it again unless you ask for our permission first. So cool.
But that's just it. It leaves it open and upbeat, too, where it's like, hey, you want to do this again? Let us know. We'll talk about it.
And they'll probably
'Cause
say no, but still.
Yeah. But even so, it opens up dialogue.
Right.
And that's
It's
how
a
you
great
do
PR for
yeah,
them,
there
too.
you go. That's how you could do PR really well, and I think Netflix does a fantastic job on that. And a bunch of other older companies that didn't start out really on the internet, they should probably take note in how these newer companies are handling Twitter or handling, things like this. And they should, figure that out, because this is something that'll get you a lot of press for, something really simple. Just send the letter and it's on pretty much every single news outlet. And there you go. Your name's out there. Your, promotion for season 2's out there. Fantastic.
100%.
It was great.
Yeah. So that's pretty much everything I had for the news. Did you guys have anything else you wanted to add?
Nah, man.
No. News pretty lame. So
okay,
no,
great. I'm not sure
good.
that was a complete thought, but let's
it was
move
in my head.
on.
I was thinking about like video game news. I was thinking about YouTube news. No, all that other stuff that we didn't talk about was pretty lame. Not shouldn't talk about it. So let's go into the main topic.
All right. So this week's main topic, we are going to be talking about the upcoming video games for the holiday season. So the ones that should be good to get as gifts, to put on your list, to get yourself because you're an adult, and just kind of get excited about.
This is where guys or girls, if you're a gamer and your spouse isn't a gamer, say, hey, go on to podcast, search Nerdy Things Pod, and go to the insert minute mark here, and listen to all the cool games coming out for ideas on what to get me this holiday season, sweetie, honey, babe, sugar, spice, whatever.
Yeah, we had a comment from William in the Patreon that said it might be a little too early, but really we should be shopping for all this stuff right now, because that's why it gets super crazy very close to like Christmas and in December and November, because people wait till the last minute, and I like to get all my stuff done before
That's
then.
right,
so
William,
why not?
Our most consistent listener. It is time to pre-order and or start nagging your significant other about what you want.
Yeah, pretty much you got to get started in September for the holiday season, because the stuff that's in limited supply usually comes out early, and then if you don't get on that first wave, it gets real tough, harder and harder as the time goes on. Don't let yourself be looking for a Furby on December 15th, okay?
Oh, God. Okay. The first one I think I wanted to touch on, because it's already out, is Destiny 2. That's a big game that came out way early for the whole holiday season, but I think that was good on them because there's not too many things coming out in September. Destiny 2, I talked about it before in another podcast, but Destiny did have my attention for a really long time, mainly because of its first-person shooter aspects and not so much of the, other grinding and all that stuff. But it is definitely a beautiful game to look at. And I mean, if you're into the whole lore, and if you're into getting, upping your armor and going past the end game past level 30 or level 40, I think they're at now, and just going into that grind and just keep playing, getting new armor and all that stuff. And if that person is really into first-person shooters and maybe into World of Warcraft a little bit, this will probably be a perfect gift, I think, for them. Destiny 2, it's out on PS4, Xbox One, PC. I don't think the Switch.
No, not the Switch for this one.
No, not the Switch.
But it's a cool
I may
game.
have to pick it up for the PS4 because you've just ticked all of my boxes. But I'm like Destiny. I always hesitate a little bit before buying games, or at least in most times I do, because I want to see how people react to games. And with Destiny, I didn't really get a good vibe from it. Like it sounded like an unfinished game. It sounded like a game that should have been through more testing and or more blah, blah, blah.
The thing is that they had like a 5-year plan for this game, but they released like this prologue as everybody's introduction to this game. And it's like, well, yeah, okay. I appreciate you trying to give me 5 years out of Destiny 1, but when you release as little as you did for Destiny 1, I not okay with that. But definitely Destiny 2 picked up the steam and picked up the slack. And if you weren't invested in Destiny 1, go into this one, and there's a whole lot of content for you to absorb and have fun with.
It looks really cool. I mean, I don't know a lot about the background in Destiny 1, but I've seen some gameplay on this, and it looks like a pretty cool game. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to
super cool.
add it to my Christmas list then.
Get your pencil out, Kevin.
There we go. Dear Santa.
Well, there's a couple sports games, big sports releases coming out soon. If you're a sports fan, or if you know a sports fan, you've got NBA 2K was just released this past week on all major platforms. Reviews have been really good so far, and even the Switch version basically looks like an on-par port, like their first AAA port that is almost identical features-wise and looks-wise to the other consoles. It only runs at 30 frames per second instead of 60, but in a basketball game, I don't think that's critical, and by most accounts, it hasn't been. So NBA 2K, Madden is either out or out soon, and FIFA is coming right out. So, the big yearly releases are hitting, but we talk a lot about the Switch on this podcast. This will be the first release for 2K for Nintendo for a while. And there is an exclusive optimized version of FIFA for the Switch as well. So that's pretty cool.
I'm not a big sports game fan, but all the major strides that they take are really interesting in the way they have character creation or the way the characters interact with each other. I mean, of course, you always see the highlights of it glitching or being really funny in YouTube videos, but really for the most part, they're making these players, especially on FIFA and NBA, they're making these players look really realistic, and it's almost scary if you have a 4K TV and you're watching this NBA video game, and it's whoa, that looks way too good. That looks way too like real basketball and stuff like that. Just the way they interact and stuff. I really enjoy that kind of stuff. So it's pretty cool that they keep upgrading their engine or getting more people developing the way these certain players interact and play actual basketball to make it seem realistic.
It's interesting to me because I was
cool.
a huge sports game guy when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I used to buy Madden almost every year. NBA Live was a big thing for me. I had a few versions of FIFA, but my buddies we were all athletes. We played sports in high school and stuff, and we're also into video games. So that was a natural kind of mesh for us. So we played a lot of that kind of stuff. And it used to be, every year it was an updated version of the same game, new rosters, better graphics. But it got a little boring, and that's why I stopped buying them. Also because they stopped releasing the good ones for the Nintendo systems because they couldn't run the good versions of the game.
Yeah.
So thankfully, it looks like that's about to change. So I may get back into the sports gaming because one of the cool things that I'm seeing is these career modes and story modes that they're, as they're calling them, where you can take a player from, in basketball from the playgrounds to build skills to, college or whatever. And then he gets into the NBA. So you can actually create a character or an avatar of yourself that you can watch go through the whole series leading up to playing in the NBA and then playing in the big time, or same thing with FIFA, just go through a career with a single player over many, many years and simulate games to get farther along if you want to, but it's really the progression and following the career of these created characters that seems to be the big draw in the new games. And I think that could be fun. It's a cool way to go about it, I think, and how to spice up the kind of potentially boring sports game franchise universe.
I just don't think it's realistic to have someone as short and fat as I am up there on the screen dribbling away. It just doesn't look right.
See, that's why it's an avatar. It's a representation of you, Kevin. If you want to be 6'8", 225, you can be 6'8", 225.
That's how you picture yourself, yeah. Going with I think, things that are already released or releasing very soon, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, which is self-explanatory, a fantastic fighting game that came out yesterday, I think, everywhere, or coming out Japan tomorrow. But Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, you already know what you're getting, a fantastic fighting game. On the cover, there's Mega Man, Iron Man, all your favorite Marvel characters, and a bunch of Capcom people, and it's just, I mean, for fans of the series, it's going to be cool because it's on the Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC and all that stuff running on the Unreal Engine 4. So it's definitely a fantastic fighting game that you should check out if your loved one likes fighting games, because I'm really bad at them. So I don't think you should get that for me.
Have you played this at all? Because I know there's a previous version of it, right? So
yeah.
Do you know the format? Is it more Street Fighter-esque or like Smash Brothers-esque?
It's more Street Fighters-esque. I don't think anybody really touches on the Smash Bros formula at all. I can't think of a fighting game that does that. I thought there was one other
competing game. I can't remember the properties that were involved, but I thought there was one other competing game to Smash Brothers. I mean, nobody's, I think, going to do it as well as Nintendo.
No.
But,
yeah, anyways, everybody just kind of does that whole 2D side thing. And there's going to be a new Dragon Ball game that they released the demo and the beta for. That should be coming out pretty soon. And that's sort of like a 2D/3D fighting game while we're on fighting games. And that looks fantastic. So go check out some YouTube videos because they have some big streamers already got their beta codes for it. But the new Dragon Ball
got their paws on it, got their mitts on it, got their hands on it.
Ridiculous.
What do you got, Kevin?
I'm really looking forward to the release of the upcoming Mario Odyssey, and I'm kind of looking forward to Wolfenstein: The New Colossus, which is going to be PS4, Xbox One, and PC in October.
And big news from the Switch last week in their Direct was Wolfenstein 2 is going to come to the Switch sometime in 2018. I think they're shooting for early 2018, and they're also getting Doom as well.
Oh yeah, Doom's
which was one of the biggest games of last year. And it looks essentially the same as the PS4 version, which is ridiculously amazing to me. So the time is here for us to figure out. We talked about way back when on my debut, when we talked about the Switch and what its future was going to hold. We said the exclusives were obviously going to carry the system, which it has to great success so far this year. But the question was going to be, are we going to be able to get AAA ports that play and look like the other systems? And for a while, it looked like the answer was no. But after NBA 2K and the surprise reveal of Doom and Wolfenstein last week, it looks like it may be able to keep up with some of these new games. So that was a big thing for the Switch. Again, Wolfenstein will come sometime next year, but Doom is coming out in, we think, December.
I cut my teeth playing video games on Doom and Quake and Wolfenstein and Rise of the Triad and all of those. And it was just like, that's my lifeblood right now. And I kind of hope they don't screw up Wolfenstein again. Because that'd be great.
The Doom game was supposedly one of the best games of the year last year. I didn't play that because I don't own the other systems, but supposedly it was really awesome.
Oh, yeah.
And with the Switch, Kevin, you'd be able to play it on the go.
What?
I know. Well, that's the best part, honestly. Like, that's the thing I love about the Switch is that I can just throw it in my bag and just, if I've got 5 minutes, play 5 minutes worth of video game and then shut it down and start it back up and not have to go through, like, the opening title sequence and loading a saved game every time. It's great. I'll do that every day.
Who of you has played Skyrim?
I've played Skyrim.
I've played some.
Why? What are you going to say about it?
Well, it's just, I mean, Skyrim was, when it came out, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, touted as one of the best games ever because it, revolutionized kind of action-adventure open-world games.
Sure.
Of course, others have come along and done it better since, but they released a super special edition last year that was, well-received. But that special edition is now coming to the Switch. That's another game that, again, looks like its peers, although it's, a couple years behind the time here. But people will, for the first time, be able to play Skyrim on the go, and it is the advanced special edition of the game.
No, but that's fantastic.
On the internet, I've been, even in Switch circles, I've been hearing how many people, like, this would be the fourth time I've bought this game. You know what I mean? Like, I bought it for PS3, I bought it for PS4 special edition.
Yeah.
I got it on Steam or whatever. So for some people, this is like the fourth time. So I'm just wondering, as somebody who didn't play it the first time around, is this an investment, for a 5 or 6 year old game, is this an investment that's worth my time? If you guys have played it, what do you think?
A lot of people do still say this is their favorite game ever. I think I talked to one of my friends recently about, I think we were doing like a top 5 game or top 5 gaming franchises episode, which you should go check out if you like this episode. But I asked him, like, what is your favorite game? And he's like, it's definitely Skyrim. I was like, really? Still? Like, why? He's like, I don't know. It's just fantastic. There's so many things you can do. It runs really smoothly. We'll see how well it does on the Switch, which I think it's going to do pretty fine. I'm pretty sure they're going to put it down to 30 frames per second, but still, it's going to look fantastic. And it's just so many options for you to, an expansive world. So I don't know. There's so many different things you can do. And really just the options and the it's all pretty limitless for you. You can dive in 40 plus hours and still have fun with it. And I think people do still put in a ton of hours in Skyrim. And the Switch version is coming out on November 17th, and it's also coming to PSVR. So Skyrim VR.
Yeah, that
that's
actually
a thing.
would be an intriguing possibility to play that game. I know I'm kind of an anti-VR guy,
Sure.
but actually I think that would be kind of cool. My only thing with Skyrim on the Switch is I want these games to sell well because it will allow the third-party developers to want to invest in Nintendo again. And I know that's Bethesda Games, and with Wolfenstein and Doom, they're apparently all in anyways. But it's kind of, I think, a bad game to release on the Switch because there'll be so many new Switch owners this fall, and Zelda is just, by all accounts, a better version of an open world adventure game. So I feel like the people who are buying the Nintendo consoles are going to want to gobble up Mario, obviously, and the people who are buying the console new, who haven't already played it, are going to get Zelda. Are they going to add Skyrim to that? I mean, it just seems like it's almost a redundant game to what the Switch offers and what's big on the Switch for people who are new to the system, getting it this holiday season as a gift or because it's finally available, whatever. That's kind of my only thing about that.
I kind of wanted to stay on Switch because there's a lot of stuff coming to the Switch. There's I don't know how y'all feel about Fire Emblem, but I freaking love Fire Emblem, and nobody else that I really talk to likes Fire Emblem like I do. I really like turn-based kind of fighting and all that stuff, but Fire Emblem Warriors is coming to the new 3DS and the Switch. Definitely, if you like a slower-paced game, I don't know if it's slower, a little bit slower-paced game and really story-driven, I dig it. I don't know. It's just my speed. So Fire Emblem, there's an app that I was playing for a while.
I was going to ask you to sell me on Fire Emblem. Like, tell me why I should play it, and that ship has sailed.
No,
your description
it's just cool characters,
has already sent me in the wrong direction.
Cool characters, turn-based game. It's really just a nostalgia thing because that was one of the first games I had on what was it? Game Boy. What's the Game Boy SP? That was the first game I had on my Game Boy SP, and I would play it a ton, and it's really just nostalgia that I like Fire Emblem, and I don't know why they keep making them, but people still buying them, so...
There's a huge cult following.
Yeah,
I had
definitely.
no idea, but
there is.
For
being
all the
involved in
characters.
the Switch subreddit and all that kind of stuff, like, people go nuts over this Fire Emblem stuff. Like,
yeah,
I never played it, but
story,
people go crazy
all
over
that
it.
Stuff. It's intense, and we have some pretty cool ports that are going to be coming for the Switch. Like we already said, Doom, Rocket
Sonic
League.
Forces.
Oh my goodness, yep. Sonic Forces. Yeah, I was going to talk about that one. Oh, I'm excited. I really want this one to be good. Well, I did
That's
a whole...
coming out to all the systems, man. So let's hope it's
Here
good.
We go. Yeah. A new Sonic game's coming out. I did a whole Patreon thing. If you want to go listen to it, donate at least $1 to nerdythingspod.com. Go to Patreon from there. And yeah, I did a whole Sonic thing, but I'm pretty excited for that one. That one looks fun.
Well, speaking of
Sonic
Switch
Forces.
and older games, we're getting a re-release of LA Noire. Did you guys play that?
Oh man,
I heard that game was a
no,
lot
that
of
was
fun.
one I gave a miss to. Yeah,
it's kind of a detective type game,
sort of. Yeah,
yeah. Right? Am I right in that? It's almost I don't know, pick a crime TV show where you have to interview people and get the answers to kind of solve the puzzle.
Sure, yeah.
I think that's the deal on it.
And it's coming out for PS4 and Xbox One as well. I think mid-November. But it definitely is a game that you can play through once or twice. It is a little short, but for those people that really loved it, it stays out there. I think I saw it like in the bargain bin still for like $20 or $25. So it's definitely like a game that people still enjoy to play. For streamers that want to play it through once or twice, and it is definitely entertaining. Something that was low on the radar, but still people do enjoy playing that one.
The other thing to keep an eye out on the Switch is, just if you own one, just keep an eye on the eShop, because Nintendo's become kind of a breeding ground, or a gathering ground, I guess I should say, for the indie developers. It's something that apparently is really easy to develop for, and the retro style of a lot of these indie games appeals to Nintendo gamers. They're calling them Nindies, And there's
nice.
a ton of them being released in the next few months. So just, keep an eye on the eShop for a lot of those. There's so many of them that I don't think it even makes sense to get into them individually, but that's a big thing. One of the huge releases that Nintendo is banking on this holiday season is Xenoblade Chronicles 2. The first Xenoblade Chronicles in this series of the games came out for the Wii U and was really well received. Unfortunately, it came out kind of after the system was dead. But this is coming out way early than everybody expected it to. They thought this was going to be like holiday next year. Nintendo said it was going to come out this year when they originally announced the Switch, but everybody figured it would just get delayed, and it hasn't been. It is coming out holiday season, and for RPG fans, apparently this is a big deal.
Oh yeah, that's the one.
Beautiful looking game, and apparently plays really well too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not into that, but I respect like what that whole thing is, and it's pretty cool. For driving fans or racing fans, there is a huge lineup, and I'm curious if y'all have played any of these. But coming in October, there's 2 of them, and then late November, I think there's another one that's coming out. So there's Forza 7, which is another Forza game for PC, Xbox One, which is kind of Microsoft's battle against the Gran Turismo games that the PlayStation sort of started. So Gran Turismo Sport is coming out for PC, PS4 as well in October 17th. So those two have been kind of battling it out ever since the Xbox came out, because Forza Motorsport was kind of the launch titles for the very first Xbox, if I'm correct, but it was one of the launch titles, and it was kind of them diving into racing games and trying to take over what Gran Turismo had. And now again, they're back. November 10th, Need for Speed is back. Need for Speed Payback, coming on both PS4, Xbox One, and the PC. So there are 3 huge options for racing fans. I mean, depending on what console you have, it's going to be one or the other. But for PC, you can get all 3 of these games. But I'm curious, have y'all played any of these games, or are y'all a racing fan at all?
I'm a Mario Kart fan, so
okay.
not the sim racing. But my nephew, who's 11, went nuts for that Forza game. He played it at a friend's house, and last time he and I talked for a while, he was just couldn't shut up about Forza. He thought it was the coolest thing ever. And when we stopped into Target, they had I think the newest one, the one we were just talking about, excuse me, on a demo, and I was watching him play it, and I was like, dang, that's legit. Like, racing games have come a long way since I used to play them back in the day.
I think that they're graphically beautiful, but I think that a real world racing game, like actually any of those 3, or, we'll say Forza and GT at least, I don't like them because it's just you're driving and you have to be technically perfect or else you're going to lose.
Yeah.
And I prefer Mario Kart because you got the shit show that it is with blue shells and red shells and green shells and bullets and stars and falling off the map. And that's neat. But like, to play a car game where you just build a car and race it on the road and you try to take the turn as easy as you can and you want to hit the gas now, and there's like a formula to it, I just can't get behind it.
So
like,
I'm with you, Kevin. Like, I agree, Mario Kart's my jam, because I want to play games on my gaming system. But you and I aren't car guys. You know what I mean?
No,
like,
and that's the thing. Like, I'll put that caveat on this. Like, I did like the Burnout games that was for Xbox a while ago. Which were racing games that had like a more fun aspect to them. They were sort of in between these games and Mario Kart, but I get that. Like, this isn't my thing.
There's guys out there, believe it or not, that watch NASCAR. There's a lot of them that watch cars go in circle, and they watch Formula One, and they watch these European races where they go through streets and stuff. And people dig that. So, I mean, if like I said, when I was young, my friends and I were athletes and video gamers. So those 2 worlds collided when it came to FIFA, NBA Live, and Madden. You know, if you're a car guy and you're also a gamer, your worlds collide right here in these racing sims. And I think there's a space for it. And they look, if that's your deal, they look really cool.
Yeah, they look fantastic. So, like what you mentioned, Burnout, I was a huge fan of Burnout. And those games were like super out there with the crash simulation, the way you can take down people and all that stuff. And it was more Mario Kart-esque, but Need for Speed Payback is definitely the middle of the road if you're talking Gran Turismo or Forza, and at the other spectrum, Burnout. This new Need for Speed Payback is supposed to be somewhere in the middle. And I've seen some gameplay of it, and some people are likening it to like a Fast and the Furious, but in a game. So if you like Fast and the Furious, maybe this game is for you over the whole, because like I did enjoy Gran Turismo when I had a PlayStation, and I did enjoy Forza when I had Xbox and stuff, the first Xbox. But you know, the real fun for me was building the actual car, because I didn't know all that stuff, and it did help me learn like all these different parts, how they interact with each other. If I boosted some so and so, oh shit, that messed up my car. It looks like I have a good acceleration, speed, and all that stuff, but it's not working. How am I going to fix it? So that was the fun for me. And it does, if you don't have fun in there, definitely racing just on a track trying to take the turn perfectly can be very boring. But the Need for Speed Payback does look like it's middle of the road for Burnout, because I don't think we're getting another Burnout game, but it does look sort of that sort of cinematic feel of the racing that GT brought, but also some of those moments of Burnout where things collapse or you know, shit goes wrong, explosions happen and all that stuff. So I'm kind of excited for Need for Speed Payback to see them get back into it, but really another Forza, another Gran Turismo are for the car lovers out there. So guys, I want to do a little thing
real quick, because I'm a Switch-centric dude. So first thing, I want to list like just 3 quick games that are coming out for 3DS, because I think it warrants discussion. And then what I want to do is tick down, I got a big long list of games for other systems, ones that we haven't talked about yet, so I know that they're not super high on your radar, but you guys can give me plus or minus, up or down, okay? So the 3DS real quick, we do have a new Metroid game that just came out, Metroid Returns, Samus Returns. It's actually a remake of Metroid 2 for the Super NES, and it is a true remake. Graphical updates, even some changes to the moves and things, and that was a great game in its day, so that might be worth a buy for some people. There's also a new Pokemon game and a new Kirby game coming out for 3DS, so check those out if you're portable Nintendo fans. But let's get into these other ones. So we talked about Middle-earth. Let me just catch up here. Assassin's Creed. Thumbs up or thumbs down?
Could never get into Assassin's Creed.
No, from what we saw at E3, I don't think it's enough for me to buy it. So I'm going to say thumbs down on the Assassin's Creed
giving
Origins.
Assassin's Creed a thumbs down, folks. We've got coming to PC, PS4, Xbox One, November 3rd, Call of Duty World War II. Thumbs up or thumbs down?
I'm going to give it, I don't know, because E3, it still didn't wow me. I don't think I'm a fan. I mean, maybe if your kid's, 15 or whatever, and he has all the other Call of Duties, sure, buy him the new one. But really, I don't think there's enough innovation in there for me to go all in on that. I would actually pick Destiny over that.
No.
Kevin, what was it that you said about kids in Call of Duty? It was one of my favorite comments on the podcast so far. Do you remember what you said?
I don't remember what I had for breakfast this morning.
It was something like, you go online and you're playing against kids who are part of the Matrix that can shoot you through walls or something like that.
Oh, every time. Every time. Like, you know what? My biggest interaction with shooting games nowadays is watching, like, Defend the House on YouTube as they do their, like, busted myth videos things,
sure,
and watching him play the Battlefield. Is it Battlefield?
Wow.
I think it's Battlefield 1.
He plays the battlefield like an old man.
the battle. Yeah, shut up.
I went to the battlefield. It was next to the Walgreens where my prescriptions are.
And I mean, it's basically just videos of like exactly that. They're either getting shot by people or running while they're trying to just do their own thing and shoot these videos, or it's them like teabagging or getting teabagged by these people who have shot them. And so no, I don't. Like, I want another shooter game. I love shooters. That's why I may give, one of the others we were talking about earlier,
probably,
a shot.
Destiny 2
Destiny
would probably be best for you then.
But at the same time, like, I don't care. Like, I can spend 40 hours a week playing these games if I want to. I don't have to go to work, but I guess, but I do have a job. Like, I have other things in my life. I have this podcast. I have the videos I want to make. I have my wife. there are other things that I'm doing. I'm not spending 40 to 80 hours a week playing video games, streaming video games, and just shooting at every pixel that moves on my screen.
All right, so that's a big thumbs down on that from both of these guys. Horizon Zero Dawn: The Frozen Wilds for PS4 on November 7th.
I'd have to play Horizon Zero Dawn first, which I own, but haven't even put into my PS4 yet.
I'm going to give that a thumbs down then.
I'd probably say thumbs up because it does look, cinematically, it looks beautiful. But, I guess if you haven't played like the first one or whatever, I don't think you should do it. But
it looks like Zelda, but for the PS4 and set more in a dystopian future. And so it came out, or I got it just before I got my Switch, and I've been playing Zelda because it's better.
Sure.
So another one that really intrigues me, that makes me wish I own a different console, although I appreciated Kevin's thoughts on the first one, Star Wars Battlefront 2, which is out for everything except for the Switch, or in November 17th.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure we brought that up. I don't know. I'm hearing that they're going to try to fix all the things that were wrong with the first one, but I'm still not super excited. Just like Destiny and Destiny 2, I don't feel like we should have to play your first shit game to get a good game. Maybe just give me a good game.
For sure.
It looks so cool, though.
It looks good. It does look good. William did say on Patreon, he said Star Wars Battlefront 2, after the disappointment of the first one, hopefully this one's better. And yeah, I think, I don't know, if you're not like traumatized by the first one, then sure, go ahead and pick up the second one. But really, I don't know. I just have to play it.
I got the Star Wars Battlefront themed PlayStation. It has Darth Vader's face on the side. Yeah. And I don't want to buy the second. Like, I played the first one for maybe a week and then just said, this is shit. Why am I doing this to myself? And haven't picked it up again since.
Yeah, I just think it looks cool. And if any of you guys buy it, I want to play it. So
sure.
I'll buy it.
I'll watch it on YouTube.
You can play as Yoda. I don't think there was any other big releases. If I'm missing one, guys, let me know. But I did want to spend, we glossed over it. I did want to spend just a few minutes talking about Mario Odyssey. So was there anything else that you guys...
the new Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, a lot of people are hyped for that. 3DS, it's coming out. A lot of different things coming to different systems and consoles. So like we already talked about, like Rocket League and stuff are coming to consoles, and a lot of people are hyped about Player Unknown Battleground. We had @TheJuiceMan210 on Twitter say that he's hyped for Player Unknown's Battleground, and I think a lot of people are super hyped. So if you're not on the PUBG train, you're gonna get it on the console and all that stuff. So everybody's talking about this game. It broke records as the most people playing online at one time, whatever. It's a game that's still kind of in beta on the PC, but apparently it's coming to consoles for the holiday season. So be prepared for all that craziness that's happening over there, which if you're not in it, you don't know. It's fine, but really everybody's going crazy for this game.
Coming to the Switch and being able to play cross-platform is a big one too. I
definitely.
It's a big deal. This is the first time that this is really happening.
With
I
the
think
Switch
there's plans to do this with other games.
Yeah, with the Switch and PC, they've had cross-platform play already, but not with the Switch.
But with can you cross-platform play between Xbox and PS4, or has it just been in Microsoft's world?
I think actually, I don't know. Yeah, that's true. I think they've only done it once. I forgot the title, but yeah, they were talking about cross-platform between Xbox and PS4, but yes, for the most part, whenever it's cross-platform, whenever you're talking about that, it's usually one console to PC.
Right. So this will be interesting to see how logistically this plays out.
Yeah, but before
cool.
Odyssey, Resident Evil Revelations coming out for Switch, which if you're a Resident Evil
another
fan,
one I missed. Thank you for that, Jules.
Yeah, it's gonna be super good. They're putting Resident Evil 7. I think they're doing another kind of special edition. So if your person really liked the Resident Evil, the new one that came out, which is really scary and super fun, there's going to be a special edition of that one coming out. Tons of special editions, tons of DLC for a ton of other games, and we don't have enough time for it. I'm sorry, but yeah, just go check out. Like, if you see a video game on somebody's shelf and they've been playing it for a long time, there probably is going to be a special edition or DLC that you can buy for them at Best Buy or something like that, or GameStop. So go check out what they have on their shelf and Google it, see if there's a special edition coming out, and there probably is. So let's talk about Odyssey because it's going to be fun.
Yeah, so what, I mean, assuming you guys have watched a little gameplay and that kind of stuff, what are your thoughts?
I saw his nipples.
That's true. Yeah, Mario was running around shirtless, and you can take screenshots, but they're actually calling it photography mode, like where you can craft the picture, put filters on there, crop it, and collect them and share them. I think this is going to be a whole thing. So that's an element to this game that we haven't seen in Mario games before. So that's cool. But what else you guys got on this?
I don't know. It just looks beautiful. It just looks so good. And the gameplay, I think there's enough variety in there for it to be a fantastic game, because they are taking, they could just go the same route, have Mario run through whatever and do him again. And it's like, oh, okay, that's what he does. Mario for the new console. Okay, of course we're going to have a Mario for the console. Yeah, sure. But this has so many different elements added to it and so many different things that Mario can do. And I just think that's going to be that's a setup for a fantastic game. And
yeah,
it looking beautiful.
Diverse. Yeah. I like it. I'm excited. I can't wait for my pre-order to arrive.
I've got a pre-order too. And I want this game to be amazing. And obviously it looks gorgeous. Like, Nintendo always makes really beautiful games. And this is obviously the best looking Mario character animation, the highest quality we've seen from them visually. It's the first big Nintendo game specifically designed for the Switch, because let's not forget Zelda wasn't. So that'll be interesting to see what they're capable of. But I'm getting a little concerned because Mario 64 was such a revolutionary game and it was incredible. And then we had the water game with the water pack, which is Sunshine. Which was a similar game with different elements, and I liked it, and I think it was underrated. If you go back and look at it, it actually plays better today than you thought it did back then. And then they said...
it wasn't the worst thing I ever played.
Yeah, no. And then, so they're like, all right, well, this is kind of a tired thing. Let's put them on space and introduce gravity and motion controls. And they did Mario Galaxy, which Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 are two of the highest rated games ever.
Yeah.
And I liked them, but I didn't love them. So... then they did the 2D platformer remake. They did 3D Mario World, which was fun and nice. But it's been a really long time since I have loved a Mario game, and I want to love this. But I'm just worried that they're not going to be able to introduce enough variations to this style of game, because there's no story to Mario, really, that's going to keep me engrossed from start to finish. And I want to love it, and I hope that I love it, but I'm getting more nervous the more gameplay I see, because I'm like, is throwing around a hat and being able to do little puzzles, is that going to be enough to make me just go nuts from start to finish like I have for Zelda so far?
It could be that, it gives you, it does show that you can do certain things, but I think some of the fun is finding your own way to do it. I think, like, with some of the Zelda gameplay that I've seen of the newest one, like, there's people doing one sort of puzzle, one sort of thing, so many different ways. And if that is implemented into this new Mario Odyssey, and doesn't give you like a clean shot, like, here for you to get to A to B, this is what you do, and this is how you do it, and this is you do this, and there you go. I think that's how it'll kill it. But if they give you some option and sort of like an open area to decide, I don't know how stealthy Mario can be, but you can be like, how should I play this? Should I play this a little stealthy? Should I take this route? Should I go the other route? I think that's where it'll actually excel. And I think that's the only way it can excel, because again, we're tired of this straightforward. We've had Mario going straightforward for how long now? And really, it does need that innovation, like you're talking about.
That's
Tim.
what I'm hoping for, Jules. So yeah, spot on.
Something to freshen it up.
Yeah. Odyssey, DSRA podcast, we're hyped for Super Mario Odyssey as well. So yeah, that's the game for the Switch owner. There's a ton of cool stuff coming for the Switch, and I'm really excited.
Odyssey's
going to
be the game of the holiday season, in my opinion. Like, people are saying it might be up against Zelda for Game of the Year and maybe one of these other games from the other platforms. But when it comes to sales figures and hype, I think you're going to see the Switch be the best-selling console this holiday season for obvious reasons, as long as Nintendo has the supply, and I think Odyssey is going to be the big game.
I don't know.
One other note, don't forget that the Super NES Classic launches next Friday, I think. And I think outside of the traditional video game landscape, that is going to be one of the hot toys, one of the hard commodities to come by for the holiday season. So put your radars up if that's something you're looking for.
I don't know, man. The Sims 4 is getting a Cats and Dogs expansion, so...
Oh, boy.
You know...
Yeah, no. Thank you, though.
GOTY.
Yeah. But yeah, let us know what games you're picking up this holiday season. Did we help you out? Did we not help you out? We probably didn't help you at all. But let us know. Tweet at us at NerdyThingsPod. Send us an email, nerdythingspod@gmail.com. Go like our memes on Instagram. And go like us and poke us on Facebook and all that stuff. So go ahead and tell your friends. Tell everybody about the podcast. Tell us that we helped you out. Tell them that you need to listen to this episode because we talk about video games and all that stuff. This is one of we do a bunch of different stuff. We do movies, TVs, and this was super video game heavy, and I'm pretty happy about that one. So let us know if you like us or if you don't like us on iTunes. Leave us a review. Give us 1 to 5 stars. Do all that good stuff. And of course, help us out on Patreon next week. Super excited. Tell your friends, I'm going to Boston. Let's hang out. Let's do stuff. We're going to be making content. We're going to be doing
tons of content, days worth of content, guys.
24-hour live streams. Yes, no.
Hey, here's another thing. I didn't know that this was a thing, but apparently in podcasts, people who are big fans of podcasts go to the Apple Store and go in line with the iPads and the iPhones and hit subscribe to their favorite podcasts on each one to boost download numbers.
Whoa.
Like, this is apparently a thing. And actually, like, they take videos of it and send it in to the creators, so like us. So guys, if you love us and you want us to get huge, go into Apple stores and start like subscribing to our podcast on all the phones. This will be killer.
Yeah.
So please do it.
Oh boy.
And then send us a video of it if you do it.
Yeah, we'll love you forever, and we'll give you stuff probably.
Yeah. Whatever. I'm on board. You know what? We'll have I'll give you a shirt. It may not be one of our shirts. It may just be a blank shirt, but
a dirty old sweaty rag.
Yeah.
There you go.
We'll give you Kevin's shirt off his back.
It still smells like Kevin.
Yeah, you need that. You need this shirt. You need to go do that. But no, really, go help us out on Patreon, nerdythingspod.com. You can go to our merch, go subscribe to our iTunes. You can go subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. We have a YouTube channel, where we post all the episodes as well. You can subscribe there. And of course, Patreon, help us out. That'll be awesome. I want to thank Adipsia for the use of his song, Friends and Live Friends Go to TGI Fridays. You can hear more of his music at adipsia.bandcamp.com. He just released a new album called Imbue.
Imbue. And I'd also like to thank The Bell Curve for the music we use underneath the main topic.
All right. Well, literally, I will see y'all guys next week.
Sounds great. We'll see you then, Jules.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone.
Later, guys.
Bye.